I used to think that, I started teaching, I was still in grad school, and I was the hip teacher, and everyone was gonna love me, and blah, blah. Well, I guess I'm no longer the hip teacher because, you find out that you just don't click with everyone. And so again, what Laura said, be positive. And one thing, I know this is as hard as it is to do, is to smile at them. It is amazing that one little psychological trick. I used to have a class I just dreaded going to, and the doorway would be right here, and I would have my face right to the wall right before I entered that classroom, and I would just go, and I would put this big force, this smile on my face. And it never was my favorite class, but it made me feel better. It really did. And I think it did have an influence on them. It wasn't, the wonderful class, but it does help. And there are mental health issues also that students are dealing with medications and treatments. People with sometimes serious mental health issues can go to school, lead productive lives, get a job, and we don't really know what's going on with them. I had a student who had a schizophrenic breakdown right outside of my office. And, she had been missing class, I didn't know what was going on, and hopefully your school, like our school does, has an Office of Disabilities. I could go to someone and they could contact, because that was more than I could deal with. I couldn't help her, so I needed to take that to a higher level. Okay. Technology and educational trends. There's always education fads, things are going around, and of course the technology. Cell phones, so on page 13 at the top, point 6, cell phones. They're a big pain. I know how I deal with it is I tell my students that if your cell phone goes off, I get to answer it. And I've had some very interesting conversations with complete strangers. The cell phone goes off, I'm like, let me answer it. And I say, oh, I'm sorry, please don't call it this time again. Michelle's in genetics right now. And the students hate it, they hate it. And I really believe it has decreased the incidence of cell phones going off. They do not want you to answer their phone for whatever reason. I don't even know why, but they don't want that. In fact, just the other day, I heard a cell phone and the rest of the students were going, get her, get her. And I looked up and the door was just flapping in air. She had run out of the room. She did not want me to answer it so bad. So even though it is a serious situation, it is so annoying, it's rude, it kind of puts a light touch on it.